and I got to thank those coaches that are back there with me. You know, you guys have heard me say this in the past before. Every one of those guys has had a chance to leave, and they've said no to stay here with me. And we have an unbelievable bond, an unbelievable friendship, and it's people don't understand how special our relationship is as a staff. We've got a lot of work to do here, and that job's going to get done. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to get done. We've grown a lot over the last 3 years. I've grown a lot over the last 3 years. And I think that's the beauty of our program, that myself, our players, our program, we've all grown together in the last 3 years. And we have a lot of growing to do. But with that, I'll
Any questions?
open it up.
This obviously seems like a big thing for you. Does this make this one of the better days in your life that you got this taken care of?
You mean the contract? This community is very dear to me and my family. This university is very dear to me and my family. And in a business where longevity is not seen very often, where loyalty sometimes kind of goes away in a hurry, for us to know that this is going to be our home for a while makes it extremely happy. It makes it an extremely comforting moment for us. And to see the loyalty that John, Dr. Schultz, that this administration is showing into our department is comforting, especially when I've experienced some of the things I have in this business. And I live my life by two things: honesty and loyalty. And to be around people that are about those same values I feel real lucky.
John, when did the negotiations for this deal start?
I'd really call them discussions rather than negotiations. I think we've had ongoing, and it really goes back to that evaluation. You know, I have a responsibility to make recommendations to the board of directors and to the president based upon a professional evaluation. And professional evaluations are about more than just one game or one circumstance. They're about some of the things I talked about earlier, academically, character-wise, the involvement of our coaching staffs. I mean, one of the things about Coach Martin, we have a number of our coaches back here in the back today in other sports, and I've seen Coach Martin and Anya at as many volleyball games and football games and basketball games as I've ever seen any coaches, and that really is generally true with almost all of our coaches, really. And so things like that you see over a course of time, how student athletes interact, all those kinds of things. And certainly, we could have jumped out right away and on October 1st and, done a big time deal or whatever, but I don't think that would have been a responsible exercise on my part. And so really it was an ongoing discussion that's been very positive, I think. And as with all good discussions, I think it's created an even a more important bond of trust between Coach Martin, the president, the board, our staff.
You guys have both kind of talked about timing on this deal a little bit. Was there anything that made the timing now, better than any other time?
Well,
I'll say
Go
my
ahead,
part real
Coach.
quick. And
Higher pay grade.
I had asked that, and it's what I've been telling you guys, that I didn't want to deal with it while the season was going on. And and then my attorney, who's been phenomenal for me. He's a dear friend that became my attorney, Richard Katz, who's in the back of the room. He agreed to come in this weekend, and then John and Dr. Schultz and the board were willing to engage in conversations with him this weekend, since we were both on the same page, to see if we can figure something out this weekend. And they obviously went through the process over the last 48 hours, and then I got engaged last night after the game, and like I told all you guys from day one, I had faith in the people that I work for. It was going to get done, and but that's kind of, from my perspective, that's kind of.
I think we had a pretty good understanding of where we needed to be quite some time ago, and it was, as Coach Martin mentioned, it was helpful to have Richard here this weekend. And you know, to be very honest, you know, when people ask questions about, you know, why aren't you working on this contract today? There's a lot going on during the weeks here, both for Coach Martin and for the rest of the staff, with 435 student athletes in 16 sports. And so I think this has been executed in a very responsible manner. I think why today? Clearly, the national spotlight will be on Kansas City this week with our tournaments, both our men's and women's tournaments in Kansas City. And it's an important opportunity for Kansas State, and so for the nation to understand how committed this university is to Coach Martin, and how committed Coach Martin is to this university as we focus on basketball for the next several days and hopefully a few weeks. I said 67 victories. I should have said 67 and counting earlier, and that's really why we wanted to go ahead and get things wrapped up today.